Vipers are cars for crazy people.
Let's go drive. Come on now.
Oh my God!
It's fucking loud! Whoa, yeah!
You're not supposed to feel that in the car. Holy freaking fuck.
And then it does a burnout at 5,500 in third gear.
1 hour of track time.
Power mirrors don't work. Air conditioning doesn't work. Airbag doesn't exist.
What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here, and my $1,000 Mercedes does have limitations. We just got done doing adventure drives, and well, other than the tire that's been slowly leaking, which I've sort of been ignoring and just filling up with air because I'm about to switch over to my winter wheels, which have nice tires. The battery has drained. Now, this thing has always had like low battery issues since I've been unable to turn my stars off, which they have finally gone off because this thing is as dead as it gets. And it wasn't totally dead, and I tried jumping it, Hulkman and all, and I was unable to do so. At first I thought this was not responding to the car even with a jumper pack on it. I figured that was a problem. And then the smart key, it won't even recognize the smart key to try to turn the ignition to fire it up. I think I'm gonna have to swap the battery in this. That was about a week ago. Good news though, I've got a friend. I've got lots of friends, but I got this friend, James Chen, who I met in Iceland, and I actually, true story, I saved his life. We were running away from a velociraptor. I threw him on my back next to a collapsed volcano. We're here today to tell that story, which is good. Brian Williams was there, I promise. And he bought a Rolls Royce. I was gonna let him use my NSX for adventure drives, but instead he decided to drive or buy a 2019 Rolls Royce Wraith. And when my car was dead, he's like, why don't you use mine? And that is how I have been able to daily a Rolls Royce Wraith. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna take it to lunch now, but I only drove it one day. Why did I only drive it one day? Because this thing is totally not my style. And it's totally cool, but totally not my style. They've done some things really well, but most of it is excessive and not me. And let's take it to go get my Chipotle now, because why not? But I switched over then to driving my NSX, which is what I've been driving every day until I get a new battery in it. But let's check her out before it gets loaded up and goes back to James. Now, to most people, it's a dream to have like cool friends that are like, oh yeah, just totally drive it. That's not me. I don't mind driving it, but I picked my kid up from school, dropped my kid off at school in it. And this thing is just so big. Like front bumper there, front bumper there. This thing sticks out like a half a car. Now this is a full car. I mean, it's a sports car, but it's a full car. That thing sticks out so far that I was always concerned that like, I pull into a spot and I'm like, well, I'm hanging out too far. Somebody's gonna hit this thing and it's not mine. If you look at how far out the emblem goes, I mean, this thing is like driving, I don't know, it's like driving a set of bleachers. Think about that. Where does that reference come from? Hold on, let me get the seatbelt on, because this has got the BMW chime system, or whatever custom Rolls Royce chime is. But it's nice, I'm not gonna lie. My daughter pointed out that it doesn't have the stars in it like my Mercedes, but it does handle bumps very well, and it does handle like New York City traffic very well. That's what this thing excels in. But it does not, I don't know, it just doesn't, it's too look at me, if that makes sense. You're driving a Rolls Royce. Everybody knows a Rolls Royce is like a super expensive car. And whereas it drives pretty good, well, I want to say pretty good, it drives like a Rolls Royce. It drives like a a soft, floaty living room down the road. But at the end of the day, it's just so big and so cumbersome. And when you look up, I almost feel like an a-hole, like pulling. Well, why is that guy driving his kid in a Rolls Royce, Lamborghini Rolls Royce? Insert car there. But that's why I like to be a little bit more low key, especially when I'm like bringing my kid to school and everything like that, and the door closes by itself, which is one of the cooler features. So this thing has a couple of features that I really, really like. One of them being the doors closing by themselves, which is nice and convenient. And the reason they do that is because the door opens out, and it opens so far away that it's hard to reach out there. So it's partly like, this is a luxury, I'm gonna have the door closed for you, but the other part of it is it's just so far away that it's tough to reach. So you just have these buttons up here that will, right in the corner of the window there, that will close both doors and then the trunk, if the trunk is open as well. And that also opens up my favorite feature on this car, which is the umbrellas. Now, they've got these expensive Rolls Royce umbrellas which go into the front fender. And you'd be like, yeah, that's a great idea. A lot of cars should do that. But a lot of cars don't have doors that open like that, so there's no access to get into that dead space in the front fender. So that is a shortcoming for most cars. So I love this car in the rain, because the other thing is when you get in a car with an umbrella, I mean, it's not like it's convenient to have it there, but getting the water all over the car. It's hard to like get an umbrella and try to shake it out and then get in the car without soaking the entire interior. And sticking it in that hole in the fender, no water gets in the car. So that's a nice little feature for the car. Other than that, not much really, not much I couldn't live without. Those are probably the two best features. The fact that it's so big and cumbersome is sort of a non-starter for me. I don't think, it's like, I wouldn't want to drive a limo, and this isn't quite limo, but it is just not my style. You know, like I'm not a flashy guy. This does, like, I'm all for spending money on stuff where you get additional benefit, like performance. Like, you're not gonna get, whereas you can happily be like, I could buy a Mustang and put $60,000 in it and make it as fast as a Ferrari. You're not gonna get the reliability, the looks, the sound, the overall performance package of a Ferrari. So I'm all for spending money for value. The Rolls Royce doesn't drop me the value. Now, I'll probably get another one of these. I've had Dawns, I've had Phantoms, I've had, what else have I had? Drop heads. So I've had the gambit of Rolls Royces as rental cars, and they are popular. People love them for weddings. It's something about being ostentatious and driving around a Rolls Royce, and it's just not my style. So, I'm here. This is Chick-fil-A in Englewood. I'm here. I'm going to go get my Chipotle because I'm going to try to be less of a fat ass. And I thank James for letting me use this thing, but it stayed parked more than it was driven. Now, would you do the same thing, or would you rock this thing every single day? I think I know the answer. I think most people would just like rock it every day. And the same thing, if I like said you could drive my Ferrari every day, some people would love to do that, but for me, it's not really worth it. And again, nice car, just not for me. Rob Ferretti, thank you for watching. Wish me luck. I'm going to try swapping the battery in my, and even here, like, see, I don't want to park it there because it's a little too tight. So I'll park it all the way over here. I like my ship box where I can just stuff it anywhere, where I'm not worried about having to space out so nobody can ding a door, so nobody can really bother me. It just is so big. Here, let me show you the doors because this is cool. I mean, I'm sure if you haven't seen a Rolls Royce door before, there's the umbrellas. It's just so convenient, right? But button, door, pretty solid. Rob Ferretti, getting some lunch. See you tomorrow. So you guys are familiar with my other company, Adventure Drives, right? Well, we're going to be going to Scotland in October. We're going to be doing Scotch distilleries, playing golf at St. Andrews if you want to do that, walking around, seeing lakes, waterfalls, driving the North Coast. It's going to be an amazing trip. Prices start as low as $2,500 per person for the shorter trip in Scotland. If you're interested in going, check out the link in the description.